All right, what's up, all you beautiful people? Today I want to talk about the customer success cube. So this is a simple way to think about your product, your service, how you deliver it to your customers, the 4 different quadrants of the cube, and how you can deliver maximum value to your customers to get them the results that they are seeking, and then ultimately to send them to whatever the next level of your product or service is, right? Okay, so here's how to think about this. There's 4 quadrants of this cube. The first is your onboarding sequence. So onboarding occurs the moment they buy the product or the service. You have to ask yourself, what is their immediate reaction to this? Now, if you're buying a product that needs to be shipped and it's going to take a couple days to deliver them, the immediate thing that you need to do for that onboarding process is to give them the tracking information to say, hey, this is when you can expect it. Here's where you can track the results of its progress towards you. You can send them an email that says, hey, thanks for being part of the team. Thanks for buying this. We're really excited to get it to you. Stay tuned. It's going to be arriving shortly. Right? If it's a service, it could say, hey, here's the next steps. Here's how we work together. Fill out this, do this, and boom, you're ready to go. During the onboarding, I like to reaffirm the purchase, depending on what they purchased. Even if it's cheap, like we sold $10 items, I like to reaffirm and be like, hey, this was a great idea. Congratulations on picking up this pack of T-nuts. It's going to be arriving by Thursday. If you have any questions, please reach out here. Otherwise, here's your tracking information, right? So we've just onboarded that person. If it's a higher ticket, $10,000 coaching package, let's say, that could be, hey, this was a great purchase. You've taken the first step towards becoming the best version of yourself, to accelerating your growth for both you personally and your business. I'm so excited to work with you. Here's what we're gonna do next. Over the next week, we're gonna go boom, 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 boom. Here's what I need from you. Here's what I'm gonna do for you. On Tuesdays, you're gonna get this. On Wednesday, you're gonna get this, right? So we're plotting out what's that roadmap, or that setting the vision for what they can expect next. Because a lot of times when we buy a thing, we're filled with buyer's remorse. Even if it's a cheap thing, we're like, I don't know if I really needed that. So we want to reaffirm them and say, nope, you made a good decision here. And then as the customer, we don't know what we don't know yet. And so there's this little bit of anxiety coupled with the buyer's remorse that says, I don't know when I'm getting this thing or what I need to do next. So we need to close that gap and compress it as much as possible. The next part of the cube is the customer success cube, is to activate that customer. It's one thing to buy a product. It's a whole other thing to use the product. Am I right? Like, you might have something sitting on your shelf or on your counter right now that you bought from Amazon last week and it's arrived, but you haven't even taken it out of the box or out of the packaging yet. You haven't actually started using it yet, right? We've all been there. The thing is, as the business owner, you want your customer to use your product or service because you know it can improve their lives. So we've done the hard thing of getting them to buy the thing. Now we need them to actually use the thing. So how do we activate them to get the result, right? That's the next thing that we need to do. And depending on how big the product or service is, that might be harder to get them into that. But if we can get the customer using our product within the first 24 to 72 hours, there's a very high likelihood that they are going to get the desired result. And the sooner they can get the desired result, the sooner they're gonna have good feelings about you and your product. They could leave a good review, maybe go buy another thing, go tell a friend or family member, right? So we've onboarded them. We need to activate them to get to use the thing next. And there's all sorts of strategies that we can deploy to do that, but we're just gonna leave that aside for now. The next is to actually achieve the results. So if we've onboarded them and we've activated them and they've activated long enough and been using the thing long enough, the next is they have to get the result. And if they don't get the result, despite using the thing as marketed, then you have a bad product or service. And so you need to spend a lot of time and energy figuring out, do I actually have a product or service that helps people? And so if it's not getting the results, you're never going to fill out this portion of the cube. And it's surprising to me how many bad products are out there in the world. And if you have a shitty product, then you can make a lot of money. Like, don't get me wrong, you don't need to have the greatest product in the world to make really good money, but you're going to be a marketing machine. That's the only way to grow a business where you have a shitty product, is you're constantly trying to get in front of more eyeballs and sell people, because those customers that you onboarded, that you activated, and that you did not achieve the result, they will never move to the 4th quadrant of the customer success cube, which is to retain and ascend that customer. To retain the customer is to get them to come back and keep buying the thing, or to, renew their subscription, or to ascend them to the next level of the product. And if you have done this cube correctly and you've gotten them the result, then it's actually quite simple to upsell and to move them to the next product in the sequence, or to continue buying that same product, right? But we need to have a defined SOP around each one of these different quadrants of the cube. We need to have a process for retaining the customers. Maybe that's a customer success rep, somebody who reaches out, who checks in with them to see if they're actually using the product, see if they're getting the results with the product. Because most of your customers, if they're not getting the result with the product or service, they're never gonna tell you about it. They're not gonna leave a bad review. They're just gonna stop using it. And then if it ever comes up in conversation with a friend or family, they're just not gonna say anything positive about it, right? So they quiet quit on you. Your goal is to get in front of them, to retain them during this retention part of the cube, is to get in front of them and figure out, hey, are you actually getting the service, the result that you sought after, that it was the reason that you bought this thing, right? And if they're not, then we have an opportunity to rectify the situation, get them the result. And if you do that as a business owner, if you just make sure that every single person who buys something from you gets the desired result, you will have an unstoppable business, I guarantee. But I want you to think about each one of these quadrants of the customer success cube. What's your onboarding process? What's your activation process to ensure people are actually using the product? How are you helping them achieve the result? Is the product or service actually achieving the result? And then finally, what are you doing to retain that talent and to ascend them to the next level? Keep thinking hard about this entire process, and don't sleep on this, because this is how you take a customer, one customer, and turn them into a recurring customer, and turn that one customer into a raving fan that brings you 10 more. Like, this is the secret to explosive, what we would call exponential growth. So that is the customer success cube. If you found this valuable, do me a favor, push the like button. Just push the like button. Or if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, do me a favor. Could you just drop a review? That would be super helpful. Okay, that's it. That's all my shameless asking. That's all I got. I appreciate you being here. We'll catch you in the next episode. But until then, stay hyper-focused, my friends.